Hello everyone, welcome back here to Canning Farms, and in today's video we're back at my own cattle here. So what we're doing is just bringing them in now. These cattle need to get a dose, need to get weighed, and we also need to take one of the bully boys out and stick them in with another group. So when we get these up to the shed, we'll talk about a bit of performance after we weigh them and things like that. So just before I want to start, just want to say thanks to Andrew of AR Imagery. He was saying to use these little furry things on top of the mics that helps with the sound. So any of those tips and things like that are much appreciated. So before we get into it as well, like and subscribe for more of this sort of content. And look, we get these up and get them ready. Come on. Why is there always just one idiot? Come on, little buck, come on. The gap is over there. 30 of his mates have gone through the gap, and he decided then just to run up and down the fence like an idiot. Always one, you're guaranteed. Okay, so what we're using to dose the cattle with today is Animac. It's just an ivermectin dose, help with a bit of, hopefully, the ringworm as well. And then I got some Bactikill 55. I think it's just fancy bleach, but anyway, and then there's another thing there that the crowd that own the cattle sent on to me, so I have to get some of that. I'll look that up and say it later on in the video, but I'll have to get some of that and dab it on later on. But these are the buller groups here, so this is with the group where the bulls are in. There's one of the boys there, and then this group here, then one of the bulls has to go into. So I weighed the other group, they're doing well. A third bull is on its way, and then yeah, but they seem to be doing nicely now, good shine on them and things like that, but just want to get that ringworm off them and kill it dead, you know. It's the first year I've seen it, and it's kind of scratching my head where I've had ringworm outside. One or two of them had it when they arrived or whatever. It wasn't too bad. It went away, and then with the cold, wet weather, it just has come back, and just there's no sunlight or nothing to kill it. Just here is probably one of the ones with the worst ringworm. You just see it around the eye, and especially on her neck and back here. So anything away from the eyes, you can give it a spray with the Bactikill. Anything around the eyes, then the eye area, you don't want to get it in her eye. So what you want to do is just dab that on a rag and just dab it, but just make sure you get a good old coating on it. They don't like the noise of the thing, but it's better to get rid of it than having them itching. So the likes of this spot here, I'll just dab it on a rag and tap it on it, not to get it in around her eye. Just finished up there with the weighing of the cattle and dosing them, so I just didn't show too much of it there. You've seen the crush being worked a few times now. I leave a link up above if you want to see a video with it in it, but just thought to be sticking to it by now. First group had 29 animals in it, and averaged 1.1 kilos a day without meal. Group 2 here, according to this, there was 32 animals in that group. These are the bullers, so the bulls are in with these, and they're averaging 0.93 kilos a day, again without meal. And then group 3 then there was 34 animals in that group, and it's the lightest of the groups there, and it's coming in at 0.83 kilos a day without meal. So overall, I'm happy enough with them without meal. We're going to probably, we're starting to give 2 of the groups meal, them 2 lighter groups, just to bring them up. But they're all well on target now. That's good going. With the way grass has been this year, it's good going without meal. So I'm happy enough with that. So averaging out about 1 kilo a day average over the animals, so I'm happy with that now. So on to the next job. I just made this signpost here, so for those signs I made up. So I just made this out of a bit of timber. I have the Canning Farm sign for there, and then now that's how the sign turned out. I'll just have it going in the gate of the yard. That's not my house, by the way, the big house isn't mine. So I just sprayed the cow and calf on top white, and then looks well now, coming in easier to give directions. Okay, 2 things when you own a nurse's tractor. 1, it will constantly break down. Every 5 minutes it will break down. Second thing, you're guaranteed, when it breaks down, it will start to rain. Absolutely guaranteed. So what's wrong with this here now is it's topping away there earlier on, and the clamp that holds this hose on busted. It's corroded away, so I'll throw a new one on there and get it going again. But I'm getting quite sick of this tractor. It spends more time undressed than a hooker. honest to God, every 5 minutes. If anyone has a tractor that they want me to try, send it down to me and leave it here for as long as you possibly can. Great, thank you. Okay, so next thing that we're going to do is we are going to replace the oil in the quad and replace the filter. Bit overdue, so I need to get it done. So just left the quad there running for a few minutes. So according to the little booklet, you go over here, lock this, take out your dipstick first. Get that clean up there. Now what you do is come along then, and then your drain where your oil is in that hole there, if you can see it. So I just have to take a bolt out of there. Okay, so that is the oil dropped. So next thing I have to do is I have to take off just this panel here to get access to the oil filter. So there's just 1, 2, 3 nuts and then a little latch here. So now that that panel is off, that there is the oil filter, so we have to take that off. Also while I'm here, I'm going to check the coolant while I'm here, double check that that's your coolant bottle, so do that while we're here. So after a lot of wrestling, finally got it free. That is the oil filter out, so that needed changing. Okay, next thing we're going to do is just going to throw in some of this 10W40 synthetic for quads, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it into where you put the dipstick. Okay, so that's the quad service now, so just going to run it now. Just have to remove paddocks anyway, so I'm going to give it a run, just check for any leaks, make sure that filter is tight on the inside, but yeah, that'll do it. You can see here the colour of the oil that come out of it, so it needed changing badly. So what do I think of the quad? Had it now a couple of months. There's how many hours on it now? It's 123 hours on it now. So what do I like about it? What do I not like about it? Not a lot I don't like about it. The only thing is that, now this is nitpicking, that the sides here get awful hot when you're on it for a while. Your legs start to burn up a bit. And now this goes for all quads. I know it's a bit of a stupid idea, but I wish there was some sort of crawler gear on it that say you were doing the likes of spreading fertilizer or topping or something, that you could kind of keep it at a steady speed, because anyone on a quad knows that when you hit a bump or something, or you're going over a rut or something, you could take off or slow down or whatever. So I wish there was something like that on them, just for when you're doing work with it, things like that. As well as that, the fuel, now again nitpicking, this fuel thing here, it's kind of in a bit of an awkward place when you're filling it with a big jerry can. But apart from that, love it. Really powerful, really fast, very steady as well, over the ground and stuff. Lights are brilliant on it. Winch has actually been really handy. I've actually used that a lot more than I thought I would, pulling out timber and different things like that. Suspension, really good, really comfortable seat, lots of room front and back for your carriers and things like that, even if you didn't put them on it. Great stuff. Mud guards are a must. Really need them if you have a trailer behind, because you're going to splatter up with those Maxxis tyres, you're going to throw a load of stuff up. The undercarriage, really good protection, even though it's only hard plastic or whatever, still really good protection underneath. So yeah, overall, love it. Would highly recommend the Yamaha quads to anybody if they were ever looking for one. So just on the quad, one thing I just want to stress is, look, they're awful dangerous. Like, they are a very dangerous bit of equipment. Man in Ackle was killed last week there, he was in his 80s. Multiple people killed off, a young lad I think up in Derry or something was killed there as well last week. We had our own bad accident back in 2006, 2007. Me and my dad were on a quad like this. I was working for Dad for the summer. I was in the back, he was driving, and we were rushing, of course, and not taking our time, and we got hit by a lorry. Just pulled out too far out of Blind Gap, and the lorry took the front of it. threw us off it. Dad had bleeding on the brain, he had fractured hands, he had stuff caught in his back, like stones, like road rash. I had a crack in my skull, broke me a lot of bones in my hand. You can see there the scars on my back of my hand where my bones come out. I don't have much mobility in this hand. You see this finger here, it can't really move too well, and my hand is a bit swollen now over the last couple of years. It's getting worse. I have a bad scar on my shoulder where I broke the bone here, cracked ribs, cuts and bruises, road rash as well, things like that. So I had a good few operations. I was a couple of months in hospital, a few operations, and then a lot of physio afterwards. So, and it's not just the physical side of things, like a farm accident, things like that. Like, it's your mental thing as well. Like, I can only speak for myself, but like, I struggle with my mental side of things since the accident. People who know me probably think I'm a bit erratic in that, you know, I'm happy one day, I'm sad the next, I'm like a bollocks the next, but it just all boils down to that. But look, we're not getting into that now, but just want to stress, be careful. Like, even there now, I have a helmet, I do wear it a bit, but like everything else, when I'm going out the door and I'm in a rush and I want to get jobs finished, what's the first thing I forget? The helmet. And I was in a bad habit there the last couple of weeks, not wearing it, but have to, like, starting wearing it now the last few days again. So just want to stress that while we're talking about the quad this is probably the last time we were talking about the quad for a while, because we're doing a lot on it and I just want to do other things, but just want to stress that.